understanding.
So you can.
It's okay, this is quite big.
You already are not afraid to talk to people, so, and we can use one term, just mentoring, for this. We don't have to say coaching, counseling, and all these things. A mentor can be more directive, where he gives advice, and mentor can be also non-directive. That means that he facilitates the thinking of a devotee, that he uses his intelligence more. So he also knows how to do this by listening and by asking some questions. And but first prerequisite for starting this service is to ask yourself, do you have time for this? Regular time. If you can do once a week, one session with one devotee, that's a start. If you can find time to do one session with one devotee once a week, so that's a good start. Then you can increase to 2 devotees or 2 sessions with the same devotee. And there is no other way to develop confidence and to get free from fear, any kind of fear, that you will not do it well. There is no other way than doing it again and again. So by doing it, you develop confidence, you develop skills. And also, when you are doing it, you actually can see what do you need to learn. What do you need to learn? Maybe when you're doing something, you're not sure which questions to ask, so you can go back and learn how to ask questions, which questions. I mean, I'm always here also for consultation. And if some devotees are already naturally inclined towards you, they trust you, then they can take you as a mentor. In the beginning, I recommend that it's unofficial. It's like a trial period. You test it for a month, for 2 months, and meet once a week, for example. And then see how it goes. And if they develop more trust, if they are liking it, it helps them, your assistance, then you can continue this relationship for a long time. Until they don't need it, maybe, or until they want to become mentors. Maybe in a year or 2, maybe they can also become a mentor. Because they can see how it's helpful for them, what you have done, what you are doing with them. And also what I recommend is regular training, regular courses about this, at least once a month. At least once a month, if you can have. It doesn't always have to be me, but you can have others who teach. I mean, I can recommend some devotees. Also, Mother Devaki is teaching about devotee care, so one can learn from her so many useful things. I mean, maybe you don't have the same system as in Ukraine or Bangladesh that she has also supported, but basic principles you can learn from her, a lot of basic principles of devotee care. And she has written books also, so you can learn from her. And there is one bhakti in Zurich. She is actually quite a long time in Krishna consciousness, and I can ask her. She is trained by Dhira Govinda Prabhu as a coach, but now she is not with them. She's just an independent coach, and she coaches me also sometimes, and I trust her, and she is a very good coach. And she can also do some training if you like, because she got a very systematic training for a year, I think, with Dhira Govinda. Then they practiced a lot. So I can ask her if she has time to come here, maybe for a weekend or something, because she's also working. So maybe for a weekend she can come and have 2-day course. And so you learn from different devotees, different skills, and then develop your own skills. And it's very important to understand how much it will benefit you if you help others. It's not only for them, it's actually for you, because Krishna is very pleased when we support devotees, especially when they are in trouble. So it's not something that should be a burden. It should be actually something you like to do. Something that you look forward, and that it's not only for others, it's for you. It's also for you. You can get benefit from helping others. And I would say develop a taste. Gradually you can develop a taste. When you see that devotee is growing, like for example, what can happen in one session is from hopelessness to hope. From hopelessness to hope. Or if somebody is suicidal and they feel alone in their pain, then if you, in one session, if you make them feel less alone, that's a progress. It's a small progress, but it's a progress. Feel them, make them feel less alone, and also, I just forgot, make them feel less alone, and they see that someone is interested in them. Somebody is interested in them. They feel that their life is important to someone. So you can tell them, actually you can tell them directly, your life is important to me. This is why I'm spending time with you. This is why I'm listening to you. This is why I'm trying to support you and help you to overcome your difficulties. And this learning and training, it's not a 1-year event. This is one thing in ISKCON. We have once a year leadership seminar. I tell them you should have every month leadership seminar, because after 2 weeks you forget everything in the seminar. It was good prasadam and we were laughing because the speaker was funny. But to apply training in real life, you need to have training more often, because you forget. So therefore, if you can have something once a month, and if nobody is there, no trainer or no teacher is there about devotee care, you can actually prepare amongst yourselves and teach. Some of you can prepare about listening, some of you can prepare about asking questions, some of you can prepare about how to help devotees take action, how to expand possibilities, how to challenge someone in a nice way, how to help them stretch over their limits. So all these skills you can practice, and each time one of you can prepare something and present. And by teaching, it is said that the best way to learn something is to teach it. The best way to learn something is to teach it. So by teaching, you will learn, and devotees will learn from you also. So one thing you can think about, who could be potential devotees that you want to take care of at the moment, who is naturally inclined towards you, who trusts you. And of course, trust is the main ingredient in this relationship. If they trust you have their interest at heart, and they trust that you understand them, and you also not judge them. It's very important not to judge them. They should never feel that you judge them. You are always there to help, not to judge. If there is something to be corrected, you can work on this together, but they never should feel that you are judging them. You are always here to help. Regarding group meetings, you can have group meetings when you have more people. Everybody can have their group that they are leading, and group meetings usually they have a few parts, like chanting one round together, having kirtan together, reading and discussing Shastra together. But this reading and discussing should be more practical, how to apply. Because in the temple you are discussing already, or asking questions, or somebody is explaining about the philosophy. But in these meetings it should be how to apply, more practical in daily life. How to apply this, what is in the Shastra. And then the last part is prasadam and like socialization, and you can encourage them to support each other if you have a group of devotees. And now also regarding these discussions and presentations, actually when we had a group in London, every time a different devotee was running the discussion, not always the leader, but from the group. So you are training them to preach also by leading a discussion, saying something themselves. They make a presentation 10 minutes or 5 minutes, and then they start a discussion and they facilitate other people participating. So in this way they are trained. And then if this group is bigger, then this group can take on something like, I don't know, Mother Dara's group takes charge of cooking at the festival. If she has 5 people, or I don't know how many people you need to cook the feast. And then, then you can say, you can thank them publicly or something like this. But this group has dedicated to cover one service, and that's very nice. Or when there is marathon, then every group can try to do something together in relation to book distribution, either give to friends or go out or whatever. So they can do service together, and you always encourage that they help each other. But you are always an example of a person who is helping, who is always helpful. And you're ready to help. And for you it's important that you have your sessions with your mentor or coach regularly, so that you can also take care of yourself. And sometimes you need to speak to someone about your mentees and how to deal with them, because sometimes it's difficult. You don't know how to deal with them. So these are some of the points, and now if you have any questions we can discuss.
I would like to know whether this applies to normal people, not to mental sick people, which we have also are somehow attracted to Krishna consciousness a lot. I have the impression.
Yeah, this was my question actually.
So
we have normal devotees, but sometimes devotees have such heavy traumas.
Yeah.
Also, that I often feel like I tell my husband, we need psychiatric specialist or something like.
last time somebody was killing himself who was mental unstable.
Well, if somebody needs professional help, you can send them to professional help, or sometimes maybe not to ordinary psychiatrists, but to devotees who have abilities to help people. It's good to have such devotees that we can contact them. And I don't know how much you know about what Shyamasundari and Vipula are doing.
I was in
Little bit.
treatment with Vipula.
Huh?
I did some treatment with Vipula in December.
So I don't know if they're helping people with mental problems.
Yeah, I think all kind of.
All kinds of problems. So you can send people to them,
Yeah.
more maybe.
They are
And,
quite, how to say, it is busy also. That means you cannot send them urgent cases. You have to have also some patience also to do.
Or you can ask if you can ask them if you can send them urgent cases. You can ask them. Can I send you something urgent? Somebody urgent. You can ask them, and then you know that you can count on them. Or maybe if you know anybody else in Germany or in other countries, also on the phone there. if somebody speaks English, then they can speak to someone else. I myself, I'm not trained in like psychiatry or psychology, so I usually send them to some devotees, and sometimes there is a deeper problem, and sometimes there is a problem that I cannot even understand, some trauma or something. So then, just to discover what's the problem, to find out what is the problem, you need somebody else. So I had devotees, sending devotees. There is also one Mataji in Alachua, of Florida, a Vaishnavi, and she also can see things on a subtle level and can do different things. And I sent sometimes devotees to her, and then they come back to me when they sort out certain things. So similarly, they can go get some, I would say, deeper help, and then come back to you for general guidance and support. But your service is to arrange that they get that help. So to find who can help, to have information, to have, have a list of people who can help, and think, okay, who would be the best for them? Maybe Vaishnavi, maybe Shyama Sundari, maybe Vipula, maybe this, maybe that. And then connect them with them, give them contact information, and ask them, or sometimes you ask them, please help this one, they are really in trouble. So you, like a caring parent, or like a caring uncle, or like a caring mentor, you actually make sure that they get help. Anything else?
So it's only the people we can really help, only the people who trust, right?
People who trust you.
Trust, yes.
Trust
Because
is, yes.
sometimes younger devotees, they approach, but they approach because they want to fulfill their goals, but they don't really trust. They just want to use you for pushing their ideas or whatever, or solving their problems, but you don't feel they have trust. Then
But trust
you are not responsible for them, or what? How is it?
Trust is something that is developed. You start with little trust. If they approach you, that means they have some trust, and then by the way you deal with them, then the trust will grow, and they will trust you more, and they will open up more, they will tell you more. There is one expert, there is one video. What your teenager wants you to know but will not tell you. You understand?
Yeah.
What your child wants you to know but will not tell you. So he also explains why they don't tell you, because they don't trust you. Because when they tell you something, you start to preach immediately. But they just need to be listened to. So listening is a large part of this service. Sometimes listening, just listening helps. And your concern, your care, this also helps a lot. So it's like, I would say 90% of the service is listening and care. Genuine interest. And the rest, you can learn different skills, how to ask questions and how to challenge in a nice way, a Krishna conscious way. I have spoken yesterday about promoting action. So promoting action is not just you tell them, go for it, take action, but you have a structure. So you help them to define their mission in life, then they're more clear what is their focus in life. Then to clarify their roles. What are your roles? What are your different responsibilities and relationships? These are roles, responsibilities and relationships. And then to set goals. Also, you help them to set goals. then they are very clear what they are doing. Otherwise, they are just floating around, go here, go there. So you help them to become more clear about their life and become more responsible. And then, when they take action, they send you reports. So now the whole thing about action is very structured and very systematic and very responsible. And then you always teach them principles of success. If you want success, you have to pay the price. And the price is daily action. Okay? Any other question?
Do you have such materials, like to clarify their their goals, or setting? No, this is it's just a screensaver. Do you have such things like guidance how to do it with?
Yes, I have. I can give you a lot of things. I mean, what I'm teaching in the course also, I think whoever is not attending the course, you can listen to this. And also these documents that I sent on the devotee care WhatsApp group, this also, I think you can read and ask me questions. And he started to notice them, and they had a lot of love. So we believe, we also feel affection for devotees we are mentoring. We feel some affection for them. And this affection can increase as we get to know them better, we get to know them, get to like them. Actually, I mentioned last night curiosity. So you are curious, I said you are curious how Krishna is helping them and how Krishna is testing them, but also you are curious about their potential, the way they see the world, their experiences. I didn't say this yesterday. So you are curious how they experience life, how they experience Krishna consciousness, what is their relationship with Krishna. And then it's never boring for you to speak to them or to listen to them, because you are always curious. You always think there is something. And then also, the benefit for you is that you will learn from them and their problems. You will learn a lot for yourself. Yeah. Yes?
Ahua Prabhu, I think Dada's question has another aspect also, or dimension, and that would be also my question. That you have said in the beginning that as a mentor, a devotee who is coming to you, he should have trust in you. And of course, that's natural if we say devotees are free to select their own mentor. They will select you because they have some trust. And of course, in the process of mentoring, the trust is developed, deepened, or not. That has to be seen. But isn't it that if we take up mentorship with someone, that we also should see if we are able to really deal with that person? I mean, she said, in some devotees I may see a bunch of problems and I don't feel capable of mentoring that devotee for that reason. And in others I feel capable of doing it. Should we be selective as a mentor?
I would say that the mentor and the mentee should match. Somehow there should be some matching, some agreement from both sides, that they feel, to some extent, they feel comfortable. But this is also a challenge. It's also a challenge to take on the relationship. Sometimes when you become stronger mentor, you can take as a challenge to be a mentor of a person who is difficult. And you hope that they will change, you hope that you can help them. But you believe in them, you believe that they can change. So you can be selective in the beginning until you are gaining experience. But later you can be open to anybody who wants to approach you. And sometimes people are difficult. People have big ego, or people are are envious or people are rebellious, but still, if they agree to work with you or to be guided by you, there is a hope that they will change. So you give them this space and time, and then it will be revealed how serious they are and how much you can help them. But one thing is also, we are not attached that we help them. We want that they are helped. And sometimes we cannot help them, we send them to somebody else. I do this. Yesterday I did it. One devotee came, and then I said, try to speak to this devotee, because I cannot help you at the moment in the best possible way. I'm still here, I will always be here to help you, but let us first see if they can discover what is actually your problem, and then we can work on this. So, in one sense, Bhaktitirtha Swami said that loving coalition or loving team, so we also support devotees as a group. So group supports one devotee. There is more people, because one person is not God. I cannot help you in everything, but I can help you in something, or I can help you to find help. So that's also help. So you understand? Like this. Are you recording?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just there come some messages.
Yes.
That's it. Don't always send more messages.
Yeah. So, you have more questions about?
Can we point out their faults?
What?
Can we point out their faults of our mentees?
Well, sometimes maybe it's your duty, but first point out their good points, what they are doing well. And for every fault that you point out, you have to give 5 praises.
Not 3.
Point out 5 good things for every correction. This is that experts, they recommend this.
So 3 in the beginning, then 1 fault, and then 2 after the beginning. So that.
No, you start with 5. It will be a stretch.
Will they hear then the fault when they're hearing just 5 good things?
Huh?
Will they hear then the one thing what they can improve when one say 5 good thing about it?
Actually,
and they
the
might
best
be still in the 5 good thing getting in the wave of compliments.
you will see how they react. I mean, you can always.
As if someone tells me 5 good compliments and then saying something about me which I can improve, I don't know if I would hear that because I will be still in the 5 good things. Because not everyone always tells you good things also, or you're good.
Yes, but
and then some might be a little bit surprised.
don't worry about that. You can create a goal around the correction. A goal, like to work on this systematically. So it will not be forgotten. But it's very important that they see that you believe in them.
Actually, I would see your approach to mentoring also more in the sense that you help them find out their own faults.
This is just what I was about to say. Better that they say what they want to change, you help them to be self-observant, or like see themselves, but not only to see faults, but to see what they are doing well.
Yeah.
So very, very good. Thank you. So even better if it comes from them. What would you like to work on? What would you like to improve? Nothing. I'm perfect.
So the way how we are asking these things is also important. One should not ask like, what do you think where you are imperfect? What do you think where's your fault? I think also the way how we are addressing these things makes also gives the negative things, or
Yeah.
one speaks like from above always, but the people not really feel supported.
You educate them what is mentoring. So mentoring includes support, guidance, correction if needed, working on improvement and things like that. So this is all part of mentoring. You should educate them what it is. And also we can make a list of things, like a list of what are the duties of a mentor, what are the duties of a mentee, or what is the service description of a mentor or the mentee. And then everybody knows what they are doing, and what is the deal, what is the relationship. But you mentioned some questions that you should never ask, like, how can you be so stupid? This you should never ask. How if they do...
It's rhetorically.
Yeah. If they do something bad, you don't tell them, how could you do this? You ask them, what happened? What happened? I heard this, you had done this, so tell me what happened from your point of view. Because somebody come and accuses them, said, oh, he really insulted me and he was bad. And then when you speak to them, you say, so what happened from your point of view? Because I heard one side, I want to hear from you. So you don't want to make a conclusion immediately and start to chastise them. Why did you do this and how could you do that? No, you want to hear from, because maybe, to get the whole picture, you listen to both sides. And sometimes mentor plays a role of a conflict resolution or mediator, conflict resolution person. You need to be objective. You need to be neutral and objective.
Is there also an art to learn how to ask the questions if you want to get some information out of the person? There are many ways how you can get that information.
What information?
By the way you are addressing it. You mentioned yet just one, how you could be so stupid. But is there like a list of like examples more that we can relate to, that we remember, okay, if I want to get certain information, I should not ask the question in that way, because this will gives this kind of, most probably this kind of reaction, and then we reach the opposite of what we wanted to get.
Yes.
So how we can be more aware of this? Is there like things where we have to, where we can learn these things?
I think last year I also sent you something, but you probably didn't have time to look at this. It's called Choice Map. Choice Map has learner questions and judger questions.
Yes.
So you have these negative questions and positive questions. It's very simple. It's one sheet, one page. So these positive questions, they actually help success. And negative questions don't help success. They're not very encouraging. They're like accusing, judging, judger questions. And you can make a switch. When you start to ask in your mind judger questions, you can actually switch to learner questions by conscious effort. Like also when you can change your dialogue, inner dialogue. You're calling me.
I have no.
He is intelligent. He doesn't call from his own phone.
Yeah, because I would not pick up. That's why. But you don't know that she's sitting next to me.
Amazing. You have mystic powers. You're calling him from the phone, from your phone, which is not here.
Одна мать же, допустим, она постоянно болеет, да, и она мне жаловалась постоянно, я ей посоветовала поменять квартиру. Сейчас она меняет квартиру, все равно она болеет, и я не знаю просто, как ей помочь, просто поддерживаю ее психологически, так, я вижу, что все равно она депрессивная все время, что я могу сделать?
A little bit, how to say, did you, detailed question. How to help someone who is depressive and who is one Mataji. She's often sick and quite depressed, and I gave her some advice. She followed the advice, did some practical change in her life, but still her mood because of that didn't change. So how to help person in such situation, because it's maybe more of an internal thing, but it's hard to say actually. It's hard to say what is the reason, but the
If
person
somebody
feels always like very depressed or not, like weak
She's depressed, very immer krank ist, ja.
and always
Ständig.
often
Schmerzen,
falls sick.
Lungenverletzungen, solche Sachen. Kann schon
Has
sagen.
often health problems.
first question is if they want to change this.
Она хочет быть здоровой, она лечится у многих врачей, а это им не
Yeah, she
помогает.
wants to be healthy, of course.
She wants?
To be healthy.
I mean, if you cannot help her to find out what is her problem, then you can send her to somebody else.
Но если вы не можете разобраться в ее проблемах, надо
Recommend.
кому-то другому.
Recommend.
Посоветовать ей обратиться к кому-то другому.
And then, but you can always provide support
Но при этом продолжать поддерживать.
and love.
Любить.
We need two things for mentoring: love and skill.
Нам нужна любовь и навыки. But may I ask in this connection, like also a little bit connected with that example, like we want to help, and person comes and I had experience for times. You want to help, you're ready to help, you have even what to say, and person opens up, and sometimes you just listen, sometimes you maybe just some hint what they could do, but you have the feeling the person wants actually to remain in this, like in victim consciousness, suffering, and doesn't want to change anything still. Sometimes like, and what can we do?
I usually speak in the seminar about victim and victor.
Ну, мне кажется, что я хотела оставаться с этими жертвами, когда они советуют, что они не хотят принимать. Он говорит, ну, есть такое.
So they become aware that they are making a choice to be a victim. And then victim, when you speak about the victim publicly, then it becomes unpopular.
И когда об этом говоришь на лекциях, например, то люди слышат об этом, и как бы это становится непопулярным, ну, понимают, что нет смысла быть таким человеком.
And they start to feel bad about it. They start to feel bad about being a victim
Что не хотят,
because it's not popular.
Ну, если это важно изучать, как бы в целом.
But sometimes there is a deeper problem. And usually the problem is a relationship with Krishna.
Обычно, но часто проблема более глубокая, это отношение с Кришной.
You have some resistance to God.
Что у человека сопротивление против Бога.
Resistance? You have some resistance, some rebellion is there. So, okay, I don't want to surrender to you. Usually that's the root of every problem. When I had a session with Shima Sundari and we spoke about some relationships, and the conclusion was actually my main problem is my relationship with Krishna, not with these people. And that's the best conclusion. If you sort out your relationship with Krishna, you will sort out all other relationships. Also with yourself. Now, relationship with yourself is very important. That's a very important thing. because people have a very, very bad relationship with themselves or with their mind. This is where you can help a lot as a mentor. That's a big, big area. Negative self-talk. Always telling yourself a story. I am a victim. I am bad. Nobody understands me. Nobody loves me. They are bad. It's all judger approach. And we teach people to be grateful, teach people to see everything positive, see the bright side, Prabhupada said, bright side. Krishna sees the bright side. Prabhupada says he doesn't look at the dark side. So, hit them with some quotes, positive quotes. Lamentation is sense gratification. It's indulgence. But you cannot tell them to their face. You have to create some models like victim, victor. But this is the way to actually be self-centered. I feel sorry for myself. And we spoke with one devotee about depression. Depression is symptom of envy. That's heavy. This realization is heavy. Depression is symptom of envy because by depression you again put yourself in the center, not Krishna. Isn't it? So this is heavy stuff, but you cannot hit them immediately with this. You slowly, through your classes maybe, or seminars, or some Facebook posts. Yep, I put a Facebook post and you know how people react. If I write about depression, wow, people will really get angry because they like depression.
If you then you are not you have no compassion, you are judgmental.
Yes.
You are very cruel person.
Yeah. Krura.
Hard.
Krura means cruel.
You're not
Akrura means
you're
not
Krura.
Yeah, Krishna gave me a heavy name. Krishna gave me a heavy.
So that means everyone who comments on that, like in that way, that means they have depression in one way or other, or they have don't.
Then I delete it because the discussion becomes so heated. I deleted the whole post. But sometimes I publish it. I say depression is sense gratification. They say, what? I was sick, I was taking pills. You know? So I say, I speak about depression. I don't know about clinical depression, but I speak about depression where you like it. You know, you like to be negative.
But how a person who is depression, who has depression, where do you know if he has a medical
Clinical.
Problem, or he enjoyed? Where do you recognize this difference?
Somebody has to give it a diagnosis, maybe like Shyamasundari. Somebody, because if it's a deeper problem, then they can see. But usually it's always this, indulgence. Indulgence. But if it's a very deep thing, then maybe also there is some conditioning from previous lives, some bad karma, some reactions to offenses, and then it's more heavy, and you are not able to deal with this because you are not expert with this heavy stuff. But if it's just a habit you like, you have a habit of feeling sorry for yourself, and you like it somehow. Otherwise, why would you do it all the time? So then you can try to help them understand. How do you feel?
There is asking how to help quickly. If person is coming, person needs today to do something to move on, and person comes, I'm depressed. She's asking how to quickly help that person can go and do what should be done.
It is difficult to have a quick fix for such problems. But you can tell them, I love you. People come to me and say, I'm alone. Nobody loves me. And I say, I love you. And then they're not very impressed. They want to be loved by somebody else. I don't know who. Yes.
In this case, my experience is, you want to give a quick help, I give something practical. Do that. My experience is they won't do it. Depressed people, because it's very difficult for them to come to do something about it. Even if it's a practical thing, it's not difficult, they can do it.
I have a cure, instant cure for depression. Try to be depressed with raised hands. It's difficult. So tell them, raise your hand, because they sit like this. Yeah. Why God has hands up? There is some magic in it. He is not, he's most intelligent. Why his hands are up? Because there is some magic there. And the mind actually cannot be negative like this. I tell people, this is depression yoga. Okay, try to be depressed like this. And they laugh because it's impossible. How can I be depressed? It's funny. You can. Even in Russia, they couldn't be depressed. I went to Russia because sometimes they are very sentimental, very sad, and they were laughing with this exercise, depression yoga. And then try to be depressed when doing this. It's difficult. Try to be depressed by walking like this. It's impossible.
It's now 6:30.
No, we have some snacks for the group.
No, not really.
I have so much prasadam in my room.
Okay.
I'm joking.
He has no yoga class, and 6:30 also.
Thank you for coming. I'm happy to see you.
We'll do one session next week in Keshav was proposing.
If you are interested in Gita coaching, you are not from this planet. So I appreciate very much.
Madhava, komm mal ein bisschen hier rüber.
Madhava is your son. Your son.
Yeah.
The youngest.
How old is he?
Was calling all the time.
He was calling me. How old is he?
8.
Anyway, so I hope this was useful for you.
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
I will check your material. You have sent a lot of stuff already.
Yeah, I have so many books about questions.
Also my wish for this group is also that we
It's 6:30 now.
Yeah.
The seminar now.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm just making last sentence. I wish for our group here also that we really regularly have this session where we sit together and either we talk also about this material and so on, or we do maybe also, when it's possible, there may be a Skype conference where we talk about certain material you send to us.
You can also put me on Skype. I can be with you.
Yeah.
If I'm not here, but I can come more often.
Also,
I can come more often.
yeah, this would be. I mean, I also offered to him that if he likes, if he has no fixed plan, to make this year as a base for him, but he has already a commitment for 1 year for Croatia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not so fixed.
Yeah,
It's
but
not so
more.
fixed. Even when I'm there, I can come more often.
Yeah. So.
And then later, maybe I can have, if we have space for my 2 bags somewhere.
Yeah. So for me, it is very, very important that we take up this. If we don't start, it's not only that we harm ourselves. Also, time is also losing, and time is very important in the human life also as well, and also for others also. We the chance to serve them, it's also losing them. So in many ways, and also in Germany, these things is anyhow not really existing, and we have to start somewhere. And
Everything can start from Koeln, from Koeln.
so,
Devotee care, why not? I mean, you five are very serious devotees. You can do amazing things. You are already helping devotees. You just make it more systematic.
yeah, exactly.
It will take root.
And this is what I would like to have this systematically more.
Maybe somebody's
Yeah,
waiting.
yeah,
so-
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Akura Prabhu.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Good for